YouTube's veneer of colorful
Well, Wavy Web Surf, the forgotten creeps of YouTube. You know, always gotta check this. It's a routine at this point. You know, it's a routine. But you know, this gonna be a long one. 49 minutes, 50 minutes. So we just gonna not talk as much and just listen. Honestly.
Beneath YouTube's veneer of colorful thumbnails, jovial ad-friendly content creators, and squeaky clean homepage lies a forgotten underbelly. Content creators and squeaky clean homepage lies a forgotten underbelly of video makers. There exists a motley crew of creeps, freaks, just downright unsettling YouTubers that have faced community outrage all the way to permanent suspensions as a result of their behavior. And in today's video, we'll be taking a look at some of the most depraved. From a kid-friendly content creator exposed as a degenerate monster, to a deranged criminal using YouTube to stalk his victim, to an unsettling YouTuber accused of being a kidnapper. These are the forgotten creeps of YouTube. Today's video is sponsored by Capital One Shopping, an easy-to-use extension that helps you save money while browser.
Patrick Machion.
This story involves a disturbed stalker who used both Facebook and YouTube to harass a woman named Kristen Pratt. This man's YouTube stalking behavior would become so destructive that it...
See, like, okay, I want to talk about this. How do you become such... How do people become such weird ass niggas? Like truly, like deep down, like, there's so many people in the world, but there's also so many weird ass niggas too. Like, what's in your brain? Just decide you wanna go down that path. Like, and become like you wanna do murder, kidnapping, doing shit like this and that. Like, I don't know.
Would ultimately land him in prison. This is the story of Patrick Machion. Patrick Machion and his eventual victim, Kristen Pratt, first began interacting in 2008 after Kristen had responded to a random friend request sent by the man. At the time, Kristen was attending the University of Central Florida, and Patrick messaged her claiming that he had once taken a class together with her at college. While Kristen didn't remember Patrick, she did go back and forth with him for a couple of messages, even later citing that Patrick seemed like a pretty nice guy in these initial interactions. But additional messages began flooding in from Patrick.
Email me today. It's up to you now. Save your own life.
And it wouldn't take long for the truly depraved nature of this individual to become apparent. Patrick Machion was an aggressive stalker who used Facebook and YouTube to perpetrate harassment. And Kristen...
But like, I'm trying to figure, like I said, it's like I said, the rookie got me in a chokehold right now. I'm on season 5, bro. It's been like a week, and I'm on season 5. So, like, nigga, the first episode on season 5, boy, golden. Oh my good boy, and then the last season or the last episode, gold. Oh my, just golden episodes. But let's get back to this. Yeah, but it just shows you how weird people are. Like why stalk somebody? Why kill somebody? Like, why do all this shit? Because you don't see me stalking nobody. Because I'm alone. Feel me? I like someone. Shit, I moved on. Hell. Like, it's just... Nah, bro. Cause once you get older, you gotta realize you gotta leave that person alone. You feel me? Even though, it's a different situation than this. Because it's a different situation, but...
Pratt of Florida was both his obsession and victim. Despite Kristen not wanting much of an interaction beyond that first back and forth about them apparently being classmates, Patrick continued to incessantly message her. The man made obvious romantic advances towards the woman that she would ignore, and after being ignored, he would grow extremely aggressive. While most would move on after rejection, Patrick was a mentally unstable individual that became fixated on any woman that showed him attention. And Kristen responding to his initial message was enough for him to think that he had a chance with this girl. Disturbing messages quickly evolved into full-on harassment videos being sent to Kristen. Patrick would send these threatening video messages via YouTube.
You don't want me for life, Kristen Pratt? That's a very, very unwise decision. Don't make me do something stupid. You're still playing games. All I'm asking, so let me over one night. You can't keep ignoring me. You can't.
In addition to these videos, Patrick would incessantly call this woman, upwards of 20 times a day. Patrick had become obsessed with the delusional idea that he could perhaps win this woman over and they could move away and live on some remote piece of land and start a family together.
Somebody.
When in all reality, Kristen...
Heard that little voice crack. I don't know how I'm still getting war cracks. I'm 20 years old. That's kind of funny. I don't know. Dude, find somebody else, nigga. They got like what? How many women in the world? Like, is half women? Like 4 million? 4 billion. I mean, not 4 million, 4 billion. Find somebody else. They probably got somebody that looks exactly like this motherfucker, and even better. Get your little black one, boy. Change your life.
Hadn't reciprocated any messages with this guy outside of like the first 3 minutes of them talking back and forth on Facebook when he asked if they took a class together. And this stalking had gone on for months and eventually would evolve into over a year. Patrick would frequently get sexual in his harassment, making it clear that he wanted to see her naked, and once stated that if he saw her naked, it would help him stop thinking about death.
I don't know if I can get vulgar here, but he wanted to just have me stand there naked, and that would be the best thing that he could think of. It would keep him from thinking about death for at least 6 hours.
6 hours
from Patrick at the...
Cause I was just gonna say you can like send them little titties, nothing wrong with sending little titties, but 6 hours by death, man.
Time showcase the man's depravity. Sorry, Kristen, I've done too much. I try harder than the other guys. I want to tie your wrists together, strip you naked, secure your arms above your head, blindfold you. The man would even send veiled threats on Twitter. Quote, "It's up to you now. To save your life, I have no options." As these messages began escalating to near constant threats, she would reach out to authorities hoping someone could intervene in this matter. However, initially, police provided little assistance, stating that because Patrick hadn't gone after her physically or showed up to her workplace or residence, that he posed no imminent threat. With no intervention from law enforcement, the cyber stalking intensified, as Patrick continued to send YouTube videos to Kristen in which he would describe his sick and twisted fantasies.
Quit wasting my time. Look me in the eye and talk to me like a person. Anyone who stands in my way will be guilty of treason.
And eventually his harassment would get physical, with the man showing up at her work. At one point, Patrick would videotape himself in front of Kristen's workplace and even briefly chased her car on camera, the woman not even realizing the person filming was Patrick. She would later be made aware of this video, and in light of this disturbing breach of privacy, Kristen was finally able to get the attention of authorities and was granted an injunction by the courts against Patrick. This injunction essentially a restraining order commanding the man to stop contacting her. However, unsurprisingly, this threat of legal punishment didn't stop Patrick's unwanted advances. He fully ignored the court injunction. Patrick had grown convinced that being with Kristen was his fate, and he used this delusional belief to personally justify breaking the legal barriers that Kristen had tried to set up to avoid him. He refused to be ignored and continued to show up to her workplace. The man escalated things further, showing up to her college campus as well. Kristen was so desperate to get away from Patrick that she would frequently change her appearance so as to not be recognized by him. It seemed as if nothing would stop him, but eventually Kristen would catch a break. This break coming when a police officer caught Patrick stalking her red-handed. This officer stopped and searched Patrick after the man was behaving suspiciously. While searching Patrick's backpack, the officer was likely expecting to find some sort of paraphernalia or stolen goods, but instead he found pornography, condoms, and a video camcorder. Further inspection of this camcorder revealed some of the horrific stalking videos that Patrick had been creating and sending to Kristen.
Please just listen to me and let me be nice. We need to talk face to face.
The camera also contained newer unreleased videos that had been recorded outside of Kristen's workplace. These videos concerned the officer, who then looked up Patrick's name in state databases. When the officer searched Patrick's records, he discovered that the man had been served injunctions and had police reports associated with his name related to stalking Kristen. This officer was convinced that if something wasn't done immediately about Patrick's stalking behavior, he was going to hurt Kristen. So the policeman would present his findings to the state attorney, who would then work on getting a warrant for the man's arrest on account of his stalking behavior and violations of his previous injunctions. Finally, Patrick Mashoni, who was 24 years old at the time, was eventually arrested in 2011 for his harassment of Kristen Pratt. During court, Kristen testified against her harasser, confronting her cyber stalker face to face, testifying to the court that in her view, Patrick was an unrelenting psychopath who wouldn't stop unless he was locked up.
I was always nervous.
How many years?
And frightened that at any moment I could walk out of a building and nobody would ever see me again.
I know what's gonna happen. He will kill her.
Patrick's defense argued that the man was overcome with mental illness during his stalking spree and blamed his actions on untreated psychiatric issues. Patrick himself would address the court and apologize for his behavior, claiming that he didn't remember making many of the disturbing communications issued to his victim.
I wanted to apologize to her, definitely for scaring her. I honestly don't even remember.
The man would later be found guilty. State prosecutors were seeking a 15-year sentence,
15
arguing
years,
that Patrick was a
yeah.
danger to society, and it would be a benefit to the public if the man was locked.
Man, give me a little 20 year. Give me a little 20. You know, add an extra little 5 years, cause you know you better gonna get out for good behavior. I think, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. You're probably gonna serve like maybe even 8 of them years, maybe.
Locked up for as long as possible. However, the state was only able to get a fraction of the time they requested. In 2012, Patrick Mashoni was eventually sentenced to serve 4 years in prison after being convicted and found guilty of cyberstalking. His lesser sentence resulting from him taking a plea deal.
And I see the two. It's like right there. The judge sentenced Mashoni for 4 years in prison with credit for a little time over 2 years. 2 years time served. The prison term is far from what I prosecuted. What the fuck? That's less than what I said. I was like, he's gonna get out early. He ain't gonna serve the 15 years. But nigga, 2? But I guess he didn't really do nothing. Really? Like I can see it a bit. Like he didn't really do shit. Like he didn't physically touch her.
Patrick would spend a total of 2 years in prison and was released early in 2013 due to time served. As a part of his sentencing, Patrick was reportedly given probation that banned him from using the internet, and he was prohibited from ever contacting Kristen Pratt again. It appears this punishment has kept Patrick from stalking other victims online. As for Kristen, she has spoken out on many occasions regarding Patrick's harassment. Her story being a testament to just how destructive online stalkers can be to one's life. That was the story of Patrick Mashoni.
But like I said, like, why do I feel like I don't recognize his name? But yeah, that, it makes sense though. 15 years was pushing it though. I guess he did need that little jail time, someone to touch his booty a little bit, like give him a little couple taps on his ass in jail. But yeah, he didn't really like physically even touch her at all. So I guess that's why it was 15-2. It's crazy. I was thinking 8, but 2 is crazy though.
Our next story details an unsettling online true crime controversy involving a man who uploaded a disturbing video to YouTube, a video that led many to believe that the uploader was an at-large serial killer or kidnapper. This is the story of Mr. 112 Dirtbag. To understand the story of Dirtbag, you must become familiarized with the disappearance of Maura Murray. Maura Murray was a 21-year-old University of Massachusetts nursing student from Hanson, Massachusetts. The peculiar circumstances leading to this young woman's disappearance begin on Saturday, February 7th of 2004. On this evening, Maura had borrowed her father's Toyota Corolla to attend a college party. At around 3:30 a.m., while on her way back from the party to the hotel her father, Fred Murray, was staying at, Maura lost control and struck a guardrail on Route 9 in Hadley, Massachusetts. While the vehicle was seriously damaged in the collision, fortunately, Maura was unharmed. The car would be towed, and Maura was given a ride back to her dorm at the university. Her father, Fred, who was in town visiting, unfortunately had to leave town the following day, and he tasked his daughter with handling the insurance documentation on the crashed vehicle. At 11:30 p.m. Sunday night, Fred called his daughter to remind her to obtain accident forms from the Registry of Motor Vehicles, and they agreed to talk again on Monday so Fred could help her fill out the forms via phone. This phone call discussing insurance would be the last time Fred would speak to his daughter. What we know in regard to what Maura does next comes in the form of digital footprints and witness testimony. Just after midnight on Monday morning, Maura used MapQuest to look up directions to Burlington, Vermont, and attempted to rent a condominium in Bartlett, New Hampshire.
A condominium?
However, the leasers of this
That's
property refused to allow her to make any reservations. On the afternoon of February 9th, 2004, Maura had emailed her professors and work supervisor, writing that she was taking the week off under the ruse of there being a death in the family. She then packed toiletries, college textbooks, and birth control pills and drove off campus in her 1996 Saturday.
Oh, she about to do shit. Perfect. She trying to get freaky.
Sedan. She would then stop by a local ATM and withdrew $280 and also purchased $40 worth of liquor at the local liquor store. At around 5 p.m., Maura would begin heading north on Interstate 91. And later that night, while making her mysterious exodus northward, she would get into yet another car accident. This accident occurred on a sharp turn on Route 112 in Haverhill, New Hampshire. The roadway was covered in snow, and it appeared as if Maura's vehicle had slid off the road. Her vehicle was smashed into a tree. A passing motorist would notice the wreckage and got out to ask her if she needed any help. However, Maura reportedly declined help and assured that she was okay and had called roadside assistance to get her out of the mess. The motorist reportedly observed the woman not being injured or having any visible bleeding or anything like that and just kind of took her word on it. The Good Samaritan then returned to their vehicle and headed home, but later reported the accident to emergency services. However, when law enforcement would eventually arrive at the scene, Maura was nowhere to be found. Upon searching the vehicle, they found the car to be completely totaled. Airbags were deployed, and a smashed case of wine was in the back seat. All of her belongings were also inside the car, except for her cell phone, a credit card, and a debit card. Officers extensively searched the area of the crash site for Maura, but couldn't find any trace of her except for a rag that was believed to have been part of Maura's roadside emergency kit. That rag was curiously found stuffed into her vehicle's muffler pipe. Police would trace the vehicle back to Maura, and when questioning the family, they discovered the emails that Maura had made to her professors. And they confirmed with the family that there hadn't in fact been a death in the family, and she had made up this ruse for whatever reason. The situation was immediately considered a missing persons case, and authorities believed that Maura went missing on her own volition given the evidence that they had discovered with the emails and the apparent meticulous planning that went into her disappearing. And there were no apparent signs of foul play at hand. As weeks went by without Mara being found, her family began to speak out to the press. In a famous interview, Mara's father would go on to say that she might have been, quote, taken by a local dirtbag. The disappearance of Mara Murray is considered by some to be the first true crime mystery of the social media age, as early true crime websites like Web Sleuths got their first big pop of visitors documenting Mara's disappearance. Many MySpace and Facebook accounts dedicated to solving the mystery were created as well, with the whole topic becoming a sort of viral online news event. But unfortunately, even the collective power of the internet couldn't crack this case. After years of searching to no avail, and her credit and debit cards never showing any signs of usage, the case was transferred to the New Hampshire Cold Case Division, and was treated as a suspicious missing persons case and continued to be a complete mystery. Her disappearance made little sense, and many theories were thrown around in an effort
Just make it show, nigga. Make it show.
to explain it. Some thought that Mara may have attempted to walk to her destination on foot, but got lost in the process. Keep in mind, there was alcohol in the vehicle. Others had more sinister explanations, believing that Mara was kidnapped by an opportunistic killer traveling the roads. Whatever the case, nobody could provide any solid evidence that could prove these theories. However, almost 8 years after the disappearance of Mara Murray, a YouTube video would be uploaded to the site. A video that convinced thousands that Mara had been kidnapped, possibly even murdered by a serial killer. And this man was still at large. On February 8th, 2012, a video would be uploaded to a YouTube channel known as Mr. 112 Dirtbag. This video was a little over a minute long and featured a middle-aged man eerily laughing while staring at the camera.
You know what's kind of funny? Well, not really funny, but I think there's probably are still videos like this. It probably won't be that creepy though. Well, technically it'll still be creepy. I feel like they got so many like videos of people admitting to murder or something like that. I mean, kidnapping or like today, because like it's like YouTube. You can post anything. You just gotta know if like you just probably won't see it because they probably won't get no views or nothing like that. But like, there's probably a lot of videos.
Near the end of the video, the man's laughter suddenly stops and the uploader winks as the screen transitions to the words "Happy Anniversary." Performing a surface-level analysis of this video, one might leave it thinking it nothing more than a video of a man trying to be creepy on YouTube. However, when one is given a bit of extra context, the implications of this video's creation become far more sinister. Some of the more observant would make the connection that Mr. Dirtbag's happy anniversary video was uploaded to YouTube on February 8th. Which just so happened to be a day before the 8th anniversary of Mara's disappearance on February 9th. Additionally, people were quick to point out that Mr. 112 Dirtbag's name was likely a reference to the quote given by Fred Murray during news interviews regarding his daughter's disappearance, where the man claimed that she might have been taken by a local dirtbag. Also, the 112 in the dirtbag name seemed to have been a reference to Route 112, the highway where Mara disappeared.
Damn!
Was this Mara's kidnapper publicly bragging about his involvement in the young woman's disappearance?
We fucked up.
Dirtbag's happy anniversary video wasn't on YouTube for long. It said that it was deleted by the uploader just about 24 hours after being public. However, James Renner, an investigative journalist, true crime enthusiast, and filmmaker, managed to archive videos found on Dirtbag's channel. And it turns out Dirtbag's video of him laughing hysterically wasn't the only concerning piece of content that seemingly was alluding to him being associated with the disappearance of Maura Murray. One such archived video was a piece of content uploaded by Dirtbag which was titled Maura Murray. This video featured a still image showcasing a ski pass ticket from the Bretton Woods Mountain Resort, which is located on Route 302 in Bretton Hills, New Hampshire, about an hour away from where Maura had vanished. The date on the ticket showcased in Dirtbag's video shows that the ticket was purchased on February 11th of 2004, just days after Maura had been reported missing. James Renner, who became one of the most prominent true crime figures to follow the Dirtbag stories, suspected that this man may be linked to the disappearance or even murder of Maura Murray, and this was a sentiment shared by many online at the time. As online chatter surrounding Dirtbag grew to a roar, the man would continue to upload more bizarrely cryptic videos, one of which featured the grotesque visage of a man's face next to a set of numbers and a shape that vaguely resembled the letter Z. Those who felt that Dirtbag was responsible for Maura's disappearance argued that this image resembled the map of the Bretton Woods ski resort and was a cipher of sorts which, when solved, would reveal the location of Maura's body. Around this time, Dirtbag would also post videos that seemingly didn't have anything to do with Maura, which were just him playing the electric piano. But then following these videos, he would upload something that contained imagery like this, that only fueled further speculation into him being a killer or kidnapper of sorts. Eventually, Mr. 112 Dirtbag's videos would be reviewed by the New Hampshire Attorney General's office. Authorities would perform a rigorous investigation into Dirtbag's content to see if there was any truth to this deranged uploader being responsible for Maura's disappearance. And to the disappointment of anyone who was seeking closure in regard to this story, it was determined that Mr. 112 Dirtbag was a phony, and his laughing video essentially a hoax. According to a report from James Renner, the individual behind the Mr. 112 Dirtbag channel was identified as Massachusetts man Alden Olson. Being from Massachusetts, Olson was very familiar with Maura's case due to him being in relatively close proximity to most of its developments. Alden Olson, aka Dirtbag, would never fully elaborate as to why he created his extremely disturbing happy anniversary video. And unsurprisingly, he received tons of hate online for its creation. But one thing Mr. Olson has reflected on since being revealed as Mr. Dirtbag is how he feels he has been mistreated and misunderstood by the internet for making his happy anniversary video. Quote, "No exaggeration. This is what the early stages of fascism look like. No, I don't mean Nazis or communists. I mean fascism with a small f. Sure, vigilantism, both spontaneous and sustained, has been going on forever, but now it has the blessing of local police, which means it's state-sponsored. It's no longer just some wacky townies, it's fascism. This is your government talking. They focus less on ethnic heritage, such as being Jewish, although they do that, too, than on random fears within themselves but projected onto others. They beat, ridicule, torture, murder, and ostracize women who have had abortions, men who drink too much, homosexuals, mere readers of political pamphlets with which they disagree, and men who laugh on YouTube for no reason. They constantly, in concert with police, keep people under surveillance, intimidate them, spread nasty and false rumors about them. In no small numbers do they focus on people they regard as merely odd, misfits, the socially unskilled, the handicapped. Many have offered a defense for Dirtbag, claiming that the intention of his disturbing content was done to create viral spectacle, which would in turn expose more people to the Maura Murray case, reinvigorating interest in solving it in the process. And while in some way Dirtbag was successful in this regard, his online behavior was irresponsible to say the least, and was definitely not appreciated by Maura's family. The family would end up actually commenting on his video content, calling it, quote, cruel and hideous. The outrage against Mr. 112 Dirtbag would eventually die down, and the name has faded from the public consciousness, with it only being remembered by those invested in the Maura Murray case and folks with a penchant for offbeat YouTube lore.
You know, and I got something to say. It's like shit like this can really be happening right now when you really think about it. Like someone can get kidnapped right now, and it's a fact. That's like, and we really like damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. how that can really happen, like once a minute, twice a minute, like so many times, like right now. It's wild.
As for Maura, the woman still remains missing to this day, and the family continues to look for answers. In 2021, bone fragments were found in Loon Mountain, New Hampshire, approximately 25 miles from the site of Murray's disappearance. This was thought to have been the first lead in close to a decade. However, it was later determined that these remains weren't from Maura Murray, and it appears that the case will unfortunately remain unsolved as we approach its 20th anniversary. That was the story of Mr. 112 Dirtbag. Our next story is the disturbing tale of Robert Rehan, a man who serially requested people on YouTube to send him videos of them shitting.
My name is Bob.
Son, nah, bro, hold on. I got a whole question about this shit, bro. Why do people like that? Like, I don't never get the interest over somebody shitting or pissing. They got so many fetishes that is like, and then I'm not going into it.
I have viewed your explosive diarrhea video in McDonald's. Just curious to know where that was at.
The story begins back in 2009. Robert Rehan, or Bob, was a 52-year-old man who worked at a Detroit, Michigan school for those with special needs. Curiously, Bob actually suffered from a disability of his own, and he was completely blind in both eyes, apparently having to be guided by a seeing eye dog when traversing in public. But it's not Bob's IRL day-to-day activities that we're interested in discussing. It's his online behavior that got him into this video. Using his personal computer, Bob facilitated the use of voice commands and a text-to-speech software called Windows Eyes to surf the web, with the man watching and listening to videos which contained sounds that he found interesting. Bob was said to have been a fan of aviation and weather videos in particular, thanks to the dynamic sounds that come along with those two fields, jet engines and thunderstorms respectively. Thus far, I've painted Bob out as being a relatively wholesome individual, just a blind guy that liked to go on YouTube and listen to cool sounds. But there's a certain type of video that Bob liked to listen to that I've omitted up until now, and his proclivity for this dirty audio content might change the way you think about the guy. See, Bob liked to get on YouTube and listen to videos of people taking shits.
Hi, I hope.
And you know what's funny? Cause they got videos like that back, well, like from old YouTube. Oh my, old YouTube used to, boy, I ain't gonna let these have everything. Nigga, old YouTube. That's how I found out about porn on YouTube. Actually, like I actually discovered that like on YouTube, like this what that was. Yeah. It was wild. It was wild back then. Wow, back then. I miss old YouTube. Old YouTube have it. They got it. Now it's just a bunch of bullshit. You know, you can't post shit. You get copyrighted for every goddamn thing. Like, yeah.
Hope you get this video response. The guy that did the and gave the description of his. I would love to talk to him and hear from him. In fact, I would like to get some more videos of him taking a.
Some might even say the man had an obsession with
I'm
this.
gonna say just go to porn. Like, just go to porn, bro. They got a lot of that shit on porn. Too many on that shit on there. But yeah, like a whole different variety.
His poopy content.
I'm blind, and I just like this for fun. It's just a fun thing, and trying to find a friend on YouTube here that would understand and would be willing to share whenever he's got to take a dump.
See, in the early days of YouTube, many would film themselves blowing up a public restroom or record their friend taking a dump as some sort of prank or something like that. For reasons unclear, Bob habitually trawled through this grotesque corner of YouTube and intently listened to the gaseous content produced by the butts of these video makers. And not only that, he would publicly share his opinions on these videos using YouTube's video response system, which would show his replies directly under the original content itself. Using the YouTube channel B Rehan 1957, Bob started making his opinions known publicly. One of the first instances of him doing so was in a response to a video titled "Explosive Diarrhea in the McDonald's Bathroom." This was Bob's excited response to this piece of content.
I have viewed your explosive diarrhea video in McDonald's. I would love more videos. Just curious to know what gave you the like that, and what prompted you to do a dump video. I enjoyed it, and it would have been interesting for you to describe what was in the toilet after you went, but
Nothing weird here, it's just a fun thing, right Bob?
I like this as just kind of a fun thing.
Throughout the summer of 2009, Bob would continue shamelessly uploading shit video responses to his channel. He treated poop reviews as if it was some sort of massive genre of content and that no one would look at what he was doing strangely. Some might even say he was a shit connoisseur.
The shit
I really
connoisseur
like
is
your video
crazy.
of taking a poo. The audio quality is just really
audio
kind of liked hearing you take a shit in the toilet.
Typically in Bob's response videos, he would have a plethora of questions for the original shit poster. First, he would inquire if the pooper was in fact the person taking the crap in the video, due to him not being able to visually confirm this because of his own impairment.
Were you actually taking a shit or not? I'm a blind person, and I would have liked to heard you taking a dump too, as well as talking and stuff.
Bob also wanted the uploaders to describe what the feces looked like after they had relieved themselves, along with a count of how many turds were in the toilet bowl.
I enjoyed it.
This is the ultimate level of crazy. Why would you want to know the count, the smell, the look? I ain't gonna lie, that's my new sound. That's my new thing right there. That's my new sound. Every time I say something weird, I'm yeah, do that. If it's only just for fun and the sound, like.
And it would have been interesting.
And first of all, he ain't talk about no women. This nigga talk about a nigga. I would think if you just talk about a female, you know, it's still weird, but you know, a female. But a dude, nigga, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Interesting for you to describe what was in the toilet after you went, but I would love more videos.
Bob would also suggest to the creators of these poop videos that they turn their camcorders on as soon as they entered the bathroom so that he could hear them put the toilet seat down and so that he could hear them unbuckle their belts.
And I would have liked to have heard, you know, you put the toilet.
At this point, just like, well, technically at that time, what's that shit called? Cam soda? All them cam sites. He definitely would be the top donator on them bitches if he had eyes. Facts. One of them type of niggas.
Let's sit down and undo your pants and your belt.
Height and weight was also of interest to Bob, and he wanted to make it clear that he appreciated poops of all sizes and from people of all shapes. He was an all-inclusive poop enjoyer.
For me, since I don't know, you know, what I'm seeing on the screen, just curious to know how tall you are, what you weigh. And before you had wiped, I would have liked you to told me what it looked like in the toilet and stuff.
However, one thing that was a non-negotiable with Bob is that there couldn't be any background noise or giggling that could distract away from the sounds of the bowel movement.
Also, like I say, keep the fan off whenever you do record. I know it was on at one point, but it was, you know, I just enjoyed hearing you go to the bathroom.
Here are some various highlights of Bob's responses to these poop videos that were uploaded to YouTube.
Is there any way you could upload whenever you have to take a record it from the beginning of the process when you're walking into the bathroom till the time, leave the recorder on till the time that you're done and you're flushing the toilet, you could describe to me what's in the toilet and stuff like that. And I like hearing loose ones, solid ones, whatever, gassy ones, farts. Did you do the laxative thing because you were constipated or something?
Wait, how is he doing this? Like, he's talking, but what's it considered? Well, it's probably, I don't know.
You couldn't go. You said
Oh,
you
yeah.
on that video, taking a dump, it sounded kind of good, but I wasn't sure. Maybe you can tell me how you were sitting on the toilet, because it sounded different. Like I don't know where you had the microphone, but I enjoy a description as well. It'd be nice if you could describe how many turds were in the toilet and stuff. The guy that did the and gave the description of his I would love to talk to him and hear from him. In fact, I would like to get some more videos of him taking a
Perhaps self-aware enough to realize that his requests often came across as creepy, Bob would frequently insert a phrase into his videos that was, I guess, an attempt from him to sort of tell viewers that, hey, this isn't a weird sexual thing. He would always say, this is just a fun thing. It's just for humor. It's just for fun.
It's just a fun thing for me. I enjoy that.
Bob was so invested in these poop videos uploaded to YouTube, he would often make the mistake of sending the uploaders of these videos his phone number and email address so that he could hopefully get in contact with them to give them specific instructions on what they should do in videos. And this resulted in his personal contact information being plastered everywhere online. And spreading his number was a decision that would come back to haunt him later in the story. Anyways, it's said that Bob was quite intrusive in regard to trying to get in contact with poop video uploaders. Take, for example, the unwanted reverence shown to a poop video uploader known as Zigzag Zippy 05. Zigzag Zippy once uploaded a video titled My Dump of the Day. Bob would consider this video the gold standard of poop videos and often cited it in his video responses as an example that other poop uploaders should copy.
If you go to My Dump of the Day, if you put in the search box on YouTube, My Dump of the Day, I had to take a poop, zigzag.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I wonder if that bitch is still on YouTube. Actually, you know YouTube probably would take that down by now. It says My Dump of the Day. Oh, the day. Yeah. Yeah, YouTube became just so strict. Because they got little kids watching this. Man, fuck them kids. Yeah. I don't want to see all the shit I used to watch back then, yo. All the good shit.
Zippy 05 did those. That's kind of a good model of how I like the videos.
Bob was such a fan of Zippy's shit videos that he managed to track down the uploader's personal MySpace account and attempted to follow the guy. Freaked out by this, Zippy blocked Bob. This block resulted in Bob discussing the block in a public YouTube video where he calls out Zippy for it. In this video, he assured Zigzag, who he refers to as Jeremy, that this again was all in good fun and stated that he was disappointed that he had been blocked on MySpace.
Jeremy, this is Bob. Like everybody else, I want to have fun, and I have expressed particular interest in your videos or poop videos, whatever you want to call them. It's all in fun. I like poop humor. Somehow or other, you took things the wrong way, and you blocked me out of your MySpace page, which I'm disappointed in, because after all, you do say on there that everyone takes a poop, which is true, and we're both guys, and you know, I just happen to enjoy hearing you take a dump. In fact, I tell other people.
And again, unprompted, gives out his phone number and email address.
I appreciate that. You can reach me at home 73.
And unfortunately, things only get weirder after the pushiness with Zigzag, as Bob would eventually stumble across a poop video created in 2006. This video was made by an individual who was allegedly in 8th grade at the time of it being created back in '06. The creator went by the YouTube name Sopatron. The B. Rehan 1957 account would send a plethora of creepy messages to this uploader. I don't know if you realize how much that shit you took is appreciated. I bet you felt better afterwards. Then it sounded like you dropped a few good-sized turds. Call me at home. Want to talk? Please call me. What grade are you in now? Am very glad that you had no shame about having to It's a natural thing we all have to do. I just happen to enjoy hearing someone do it. You are respected for it. Call me at home, please. Have some good ideas and suggestions. You can call me anytime you feel the urge to crap. You can even send me a video to my email. It would be greatly appreciated by someone who's blind and can't hear. Call me, please.
Can't
and
hear?
blind.
Nigga, oh, he say can hear. Oh. I thought this nigga said can't. I'm like, how you can't hear?
Greatly appreciated by someone who's blind and can't hear. Call me, please. Am blind. I am blind and like hearing it. I like it. Call me. When Sopatron wouldn't respond to Bob's requests, the man would upload a video directly asking him for poop content. This was Bob's video in response to Sopatron's I poop video.
I really like this video, I Poop.
I poop.
I don't know the guy's name that did it, but I really would like to talk with him and share and compare and whatnot. I've been checking your website here lately, Sopatron. I've seen a lot of good crap videos on here, but I've seen a lot of bad too. And I would like James or whoever it was to share more of his shits and stuff, and even like have the recorder on. In other words, at the very beginning when he's walking in the bathroom, hear him put the toilet seat down, undo his pants, and sit down and hear a good stream of piss in the water and healthy shit. The guy, the 8th grader at the time, if his name was James, but I would definitely like to talk to him and have him do more videos and upload them to my channel.
First of all, what's a little kid doing on YouTube shitting? That has gotta be the most craziest shit. Like, what makes a little kid think of, hey, I'm going to YouTube, I'm gonna record this. I'm gonna take a shit. I'm gonna post it. You know?
Naturally,
I say this shit about grown adults. Nah, like, why the fuck is you shitting? On the internet, what's up with that? You hear me?
it wouldn't be long before Bob's bizarre poop request videos would catch the eye of internet trolls. Internet trolls felt that Bob should probably not be on YouTube and considered him a disgusting creep. But they also saw him as an easy target, somebody they could fuck with for the sake of comedy. With this in mind, trolls would begin uploading their own videos, pretending to unbuckle their belts and empty their bowels. Because Bob was blind, they would add visuals to these videos that the man couldn't see. And when sent these videos, Bob would unwittingly believe them to be like actual submissions from people who obliged his bizarre requests, and he would genuinely review them. One such troll video got this response. Hi Barry, thank you for the video. I enjoyed hearing you unbuckle your belt. However, I didn't hear you set the toilet seat down. It really sounded like you dropped something in the toilet rather than sitting down and hearing the come out of your butt and drop in the toilet. There wasn't that echo effect you get when you sit on the toilet to take a dump or pee. Some trolls would even jokingly describe their stools in a sexual manner, and others got creative, splicing random clips on the internet together to make it sound like a bowel movement.
Nah, that nigga fuck. Even though it's weird, but I kind of fucked up for that one. Yeah, I kind of fucked up.
And as a suggestion to the creators of these poor quality shit videos, Bob referred them to Zigzag's gold standard video. I appreciate the video, but when you do it again, please use Zigzag Zip 05 as an example as to how to do them. Since I need the audio, let me hear you undo your belt and pull down your pants and set the toilet seat down. Then I want to hear you when you are sitting, then peeing in the water, farting, and then dropping turds. In Bob's obsessive quest to obtain new poop videos, he now found himself being unwittingly flooded with, dozens of hoax poop videos And also, he was giving out his phone number and email left and right to internet trolls. This resulted in the man receiving various prank phone calls with tricksters posing as poop video creators interested in collaborating with him. By this point in the trolling campaign, Bob had been made the subject of an Encyclopedia Dramatica article. Eventually, the man would realize that many of the poop videos that had been sent to him in recent months were all hoaxes, and he had become a YouTube pariah. In light of this discovery and near constant prank calling, Bob would attempt to scrub his poop review activity from the internet, deleting all of his videos in a desperate effort to escape the trolling. Around the time, he sent the following message to a viewer detailing his explanation for the removals. Hi, Drew. I will try not to leave, but I don't deserve being harassed and accused of being a... I only regret that I felt a little too comfortable and gave more information not knowing that it was getting to the individuals doing the videos and that these assholes get it and try using it in a way to wreck my life. In fact, there's one person who somehow got my videos after I deleted them and has put them up on his site. I have told him politely that what he has done is wrong and that he wouldn't appreciate it if it were done to him. I hope he takes it down. I feel like crying. All I want is a friend to try to understand and have fun with, and who will share letting me hear him taking shits in the toilet. I indicated this in all the videos. Also, how can I get my information off of Google and Wikipedia? What Bob would soon have to come to terms with is that the internet never forgets. Trolls had archived his videos and would re-upload them just as fast as he could delete them. This resulted in Bob sending takedown requests to some of these re-uploaders via direct messages. I am asking you kindly to remove my videos. If you do not, I am going to report you to Yo YouTube support. I would greatly appreciate you removing my videos. I was just trying to have fun and am being picked on for certain reasons, one of which me being blind. I am asking you politely, how would you like someone doing the same thing to you? I'm pretty sure that you would not. I am being accused of being gay, of which I am not. I do not judge others. Please do not prejudice me. I don't harass people, and I expect the same in return. If you refuse to comply, I will do whatever is necessary to see that you are dealt with appropriately. I will have others check your site to make sure that you have removed them. That is sick and downright dirty to do to someone. Needless to say, the re-uploaders ignored Bob's request, and the grotesque poop review videos remain up to this day. Bob would toil with these internet...
Up to this day, nigga, what? Oh, wait, I'm talking about those videos? Like, of him talking, yeah, okay. I was saying shitting videos.
Trolls for some time, but around late 2009, the man's channel would suddenly deactivate, and Bob hasn't been seen online in any shape or form since this deactivation. He's essentially disappeared from the internet. Considering the often aggressive pursuance shown by Bob towards shit video creators, perhaps it's for the better that he was stopped before things got worse. I think this might have been one of those cases where a little soft bullying from trolls actually proved to be a good thing. But that was the story of Bob Rehan, the YouTube poop review connoisseur.
The happy scientist. No.
YouTube is home to many channels who create content dedicated to the education of children. Our next story involves one of YouTube's earliest creators, who unfortunately was outed as a predator of those in the very age group that he targeted with his content. This is the story of Robert Krampf, the happy scientist. Born in 1956, John Robert Krampf developed a fascination with science at a young age. Like many children, Robert was first enthralled with dinosaurs and paleontology, his interest in the extinct creatures being piqued after his parents took him to see the 1960s cult classic, Dinosaurs. Robert's love for science blossomed as he grew, involving the young man becoming knowledgeable about chemistry, biology, and meteorology early in his life. Supported by his family in his pursuit of scientific ventures, Robert was eventually enrolled in college and studied at the University of Tennessee, where he would pursue a degree in geology. After graduating, Robert hit the road and became a sort of traveling educator. During this time, the man developed showmanship skills and an act that became popular. The act essentially involving him showcasing various scientific theories and phenomena in a spectacular and performative way not all too different from that of a magician. The only difference being that Robert didn't deal in the arcane, he was actually performing interesting scientific phenomena and showing theories in action to people. He was a master of edutainment, if you will.
But for an experiment, I I become involved in the process. I control things. In this case, I can control time span. So I can give that rock a little nudge. And wait at the bottom to see all the chips and scratches to learn how its fall down that slope had changed the rock.
Robert's performances proved successful with crowds and eventually resulted in him getting a tour, with the man becoming a pop science icon in the process. Robert would appear frequently on television throughout the 1990s and was considered a star amongst science educators. Robert would tour the country with his whimsical science act for close to 7 years, eventually stopping in 1994 with the man getting a job at the Museum of Science and History in Jacksonville, Florida. In 1997, Robert switched to a more hands-on teaching job and went back to work as an educator, visiting around 180 schools a year performing for children and other teachers. With the turn of the century and the rise of online video, Robert Cramp saw an opportunity to get his lectures out to an even more vast audience. In 2006, Robert would begin making and uploading science-related videos to a YouTube channel under the name The Happy Scientist.
I'm Robert Cramp. Welcome to the Experiment of the Week. This time we're going to talk about the science of remote controls. You probably have a remote control for your television or other things around the house. How does this thing work? How does it communicate with that electronic device? You might think that it uses radio waves or something like that, but actually it uses light. Put it nice and tight, because now we're going to shake this jar. No, we're not going to shake it all over the place. What we want is nice, slow, two things that have opposite charges will attract. They stick together.
Through these videos, Robert garnered close to 8,000 subscribers in the early days of YouTube and boasted an even more impressive video view count, with one of his lectures garnering close to 1 million views. The man also developed a website that helped catalog his videos, and he posted these YouTube clips across various sites to expand his brand. The Happy Scientist brand would become well known in the online community. When a school or parent needed a fun science video to show to children, his channel was often one of the first places they would go. It really seemed like Robert, the Happy Scientist, could do no wrong. He was like the cheerful, jovial Bob Ross of science content. He had a decades-long legacy of educating others and helping the youth develop a passion for science. However, what we'll find is that Robert wasn't a man free of sin. He was simply really good at hiding it. Now let's fast forward about 15 years into the future. As the COVID-19 pandemic began to hit its peak in the summer of 2020, Robert's world as a science educator would begin to unravel as dark secrets kept hidden by the man would be brought to the surface for all of his scientific peers and the rest of the world to see. According to authorities, in September of 2020, Robert shared digital files containing explicit images of prepubescent children with an IP address that was part of an undercover investigation helmed by the FBI. As a result of this, authorities obtained a warrant and searched Robert's home in Utah. In their investigation, authorities found thousands of images and lewd videos of children in more than 20 hard drives, including a 4-terabyte hard drive, while searching Cramp's home in Kane County. According to reports, some of these images...
4 terabytes? You can have that? Hold on a minute. Shit. I need me one. Shit, I need to download a whole bunch of games, you hear me? I'm telling you. I wonder how much. I feel like that shit would cost a lot. Hold on.
featured children as young as 4 years old. Quote, "We opened 2 or 3 of the folders out of thousands and were quickly overwhelmed. It was so egregious. Immediately, you know it needs to be analyzed by the FBI Computer Forensic Lab, so we packaged all the evidence to send to Salt Lake City," one detective said. It was also found that
YouTube.
Robert had been engaging in this disgusting CP content for years, with none being the wiser that the happy scientist child educator was actually a depraved child predator. This sting operation led to Robert, who was 64 at the time, being arrested and charged with knowing and receiving and possessing pornographic images of a minor who had not attained 12 years of age. Shortly after his arrest, Robert's YouTube channel was permanently suspended. In March of 2021, Robert pled guilty to one count of receipt of CP. After striking a plea agreement, prosecutors agreed to dismiss one count of possession of CP in exchange for this guilty plea. In the end, Robert Krampf was sentenced to serve 4 years in prison. His story is yet another disturbing example of a YouTube content creator who appears wholesome on a surface level, only to later be revealed as a disgusting predator. That was the story of the happy scientist. Well, you made it to the end. Those were the forgotten creeps of YouTube. Let me know what you guys thought about this video down below in the comments section, and let me know who or what you want me to talk about next. I want to give a major shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys. Wavy Web Surf out. Peace.
Good ass video, man. By the
Beneath YouTube's
Wavy
veneer
Web Surf. Shit. I was trying to look up the this thing right here. Yeah. Big fire.